In our shared history, humanity has faced many crossroads, moments that define the future for generations to come. Today, on June 23, 2025, we find ourselves at such a moment with the announcement of a bold and powerful new global initiative, the Earth Continuity Treaty. This is not just another policy paper or a distant goal. It is presented as a definitive, immediate plan to halt and reverse the environmental damage threatening our world. At its heart, the treaty aims to enforce a strict set of rules upon all nations, designed to heal our planet's ailing systems with unprecedented speed and authority. It is a document that speaks of survival, of continuity for all life on Earth, and it demands our full attention. The architects of this sweeping mandate are an enigmatic and powerful group known only as Omega. Little is known about their origins, but their message is clear and their resources appear limitless. They have presented the Earth Continuity Treaty not as a proposal for discussion, but as a final directive. Their stated goal is to achieve what decades of international negotiation have failed to do: create a sustainable and balanced world. To accomplish this, the treaty outlines a series of non-negotiable actions, including massive technological overhauls, the immediate cessation of polluting industries, and a global redistribution of wealth to fund these monumental changes. The sheer scale of their ambition is unlike anything the world has ever seen. What makes this treaty so profoundly different is its mechanism of enforcement. It does not ask for consensus or voluntary participation. Instead, it operates on a system of command and control, promising swift and severe consequences for any nation or corporation that fails to comply. This approach is intended to cut through the political gridlock and delays that have long plagued environmental efforts. Omega argues that our planet is in a state of emergency, and in such a crisis, democratic debate is a luxury we can no longer afford. Their vision is one of decisive, unified action, orchestrated by a single guiding hand to save us from ourselves. However, this radical proposal raises as many questions as it answers. Who are the individuals behind Omega? What gives them the authority to impose their will upon the entire planet? While the promise of a restored Earth is a beautiful one, the methods proposed are a source of deep concern for many. The treaty represents a fundamental shift in how we approach global problems, moving away from cooperation and toward coercion. As we stand on the precipice of this new era, we must carefully consider whether this is a necessary salvation or a dangerous path that sacrifices our freedoms for a forced vision of order. To understand the urgency that fuels a proposal like the Earth Continuity Treaty, we need only look at the world around us. For decades, scientists have warned us that our planet is becoming unwell, and now the symptoms are impossible to ignore. Our climate, the very system that has nurtured life for millennia, is changing at an alarming rate. We see it in the news every day: heat waves of unprecedented intensity scorching farmlands, powerful storms and floods devastating coastal communities, and long, terrible droughts turning fertile lands into dust. These are not random acts of nature. They are the direct consequences of the blanket of greenhouse gases we have wrapped around our world, trapping heat and throwing our delicate climate out of balance. The pollution of our lands and waters tells an equally grim story. Consider the plastic that has become a ubiquitous part of modern life. We produce over 400 million tons of it each year, and a staggering amount finds its way into the natural world. Our oceans are slowly turning into a soup of plastic waste, choking marine animals and breaking down into tiny microplastics that enter our food chain and even our own bodies. From the highest mountains to the deepest sea trenches, our synthetic footprint is found everywhere. This relentless contamination is a visible scar on our planet, a testament to a throwaway culture that has treated our home as a limitless dumping ground. This environmental degradation is not a distant problem. It has a profound impact on human health and well-being. The 78th World Health Assembly, which concluded just last month in May 2025, heavily focused on the undeniable link between a sick planet and sick people. Air pollution from burning fossil fuels contributes to respiratory illnesses, while chemical runoff contaminates our drinking water. The changing climate creates conditions for diseases to spread to new regions, and the loss of biodiversity weakens the natural systems that provide us with clean air, fresh water, and the very food we eat. Our health is inextricably tied to the health of the Earth. Faced with this interconnected crisis, the world has tried to act before, but progress has been painfully slow. As we stand today, global carbon emissions continue their upward trend despite the promises made. The final negotiations for a global plastics treaty, a crucial step, are still scheduled for this coming August. The slow, deliberate pace of international diplomacy, while important, struggles to keep up with the accelerating pace of the crisis. It is this gap between the speed of the problem and the speed of the solution that has created the vacuum which a radical plan like the Earth Continuity Treaty seeks to fill. The traditional way our world has tackled global challenges is through collaboration. Think of the Paris Agreement on climate change, a landmark achievement adopted in 2015. It was not the creation of one nation or a single entity. Instead, it was the result of years of painstaking negotiation involving nearly every country on Earth. Each nation came to the table, debated its position, and ultimately agreed to a shared goal to limit global warming. This process is built on the principle of cooperation, where sovereign states work together voluntarily. Its power lies in its collective nature. It is an agreement made by the world, for the world, reflecting a mosaic of different needs and capabilities. This cooperative model, for all its strengths, has its weaknesses. Its reliance on voluntary commitments means that progress can be slow and uneven. As we have seen, some nations have struggled to meet their targets, and political changes can lead to countries withdrawing from their promises, as the United States threatened to do again in January 2025. The Paris Agreement and the upcoming Global Plastics Treaty are like great ships built by many hands. They are powerful, but they are also slow to turn and require every crew member to row in the same direction. The enforcement is often based on transparency and peer pressure, not on punishment, which can lead to frustration when action is urgently needed. The Earth Continuity Treaty proposes a fundamentally different path. It discards the slow, consensus-based model in favor of a top-down authoritarian approach. Instead of a conversation among equals, it is a decree issued from a single, powerful source, ex omega. This method promises efficiency and speed, cutting through the red tape and political maneuvering that can stall progress. It replaces the complex dance of diplomacy with the simple clarity of a command. The treaty's logic is that the planet's crisis is too severe for debate, and that a single decisive authority is the only way to ensure the necessary actions are taken immediately and universally. Yet, this approach is fraught with peril. Placing such immense power in the hands of a single unelected group, no matter how well-intentioned, is a dangerous gamble. Who holds Ex Omega accountable? What happens if their solutions create unintended consequences that harm vulnerable populations? History has shown us time and again that unchecked power can lead to tyranny. A solution imposed without consent, even for a noble cause, can undermine the very foundations of freedom and self-determination that societies are built upon. The question we must ask is whether saving the planet requires us to sacrifice the principles of global cooperation and democratic governance. While the debate over grand treaties and global mandates rages on, it is easy to feel small and powerless. But the truth is, the ultimate fate of our planet does not rest solely in the hands of governments or mysterious organizations like Ex Omega. The most powerful force for change has always been the collective will of ordinary people. The solution to our environmental crisis is not just one big action, but millions of small ones, woven together into a tapestry of change. It begins with a shift in our own perspective, seeing ourselves not as masters of the natural world, but as a part of it, with a profound responsibility to care for it. This responsibility can be expressed in our daily lives. Every choice we make, no matter how insignificant it may seem, has an impact. We can choose to reduce our consumption, to reuse what we can, and to recycle what we cannot. We can be mindful of the energy we use in our homes and the food we put on our tables, favoring local and sustainable options. We can reject single-use plastics and support businesses that are committed to protecting the environment. These actions are not just symbolic gestures, they are powerful signals to the market and to our leaders, creating a ripple effect that can drive systemic change from the ground up. Beyond our individual actions, we have a voice. We can use it to speak up for our planet, to educate our friends and families, and to demand more from our elected officials. We can support organizations that are working on the front lines of conservation and environmental justice. True, lasting change requires both top-down policy and bottom-up public pressure. The great environmental victories of the past were not won by politicians alone. They were driven by a groundswell of public passion and demand for a better, healthier world. Our voices, when united, are a chorus that cannot be ignored. In the end, the Earth does not need a single savior or a cosmic executioner. It needs billions of guardians. The future of our magnificent, life-giving planet is a shared inheritance and a shared responsibility. Whether the Earth Continuity Treaty proves to be a work of fiction or a frightening reality, the fundamental task remains the same. We must work together with empathy, wisdom, and a deep love for the only home we have ever known. The power to write a hopeful next chapter for life on Earth is and always has been in our hands.